Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. More banks are outright banning sending money to any Bitcoin or crypto exchange here in Australia. Operation Choke Point 3.0 is underway. Not the first bank or the last. They are getting pretty desperate at the minute. Stablecoins coming to Bitcoin's Lightning Network for better or for worse. Russia is set to make Bitcoin mining legal. Harris will not be at the Bitcoin conference, and David Bailey publicly called her out for it as pretty harsh. The IT service for the Pentagon has been hacked. We touched on that briefly yesterday. We'll go a little bit more in depth. And Senator Cynthia Lummis to announce new legislation at the Bitcoin conference for the Fed to hold Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin news with the fast facts. Welcome to everyone joining us today. Now, this was reposted to me there on X yesterday. Excellent. HSBC Australia outright blocking all payments to sexes. Not my main bank, but it's annoying regardless. Curious whether they wind this back sometime in the next 12 months, though. Who are you guys banking with these days? We'll dive a little bit more in depth, but just really quickly, restrictions on payments to cryptocurrency exchanges. We'll come back to that. Kamala Harris has decided not to speak at the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville. David Bailey has confirmed that. We'll come back to that. It was so harsh. And Daniel Batten posting this, just in Russia's parliament has approved a bill to legalize Bitcoin mining and crypto payments. This is the first read, and the bill aims to curb illegal activity, attract investments, and create jobs, marking a significant shift in the country's approach to crypto. Now, what is Operation Choke Point? The original one, we'll dive into that, and then Operation 2.0, 3.0 here in Australia. It is happening now. If you're just joining us, smash the like button on the way in, hit subscribe if we vibe. Shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. What a glorious day to be here in Bitcoin. Before we get into this, I just want to say well done to everyone that has tuned in, that has been studying Bitcoin, reading the books, watching the podcast. You are the 1%. Last night I was out looking at the stars. Everyone that understands Bitcoin now, that's buying Bitcoin, stacking Bitcoin, reading about Bitcoin, is in the top 1% of the world population. So few people understand that. Obviously, we are getting these attacks, but well done getting through the FUD, finding the signal, and stacking like crazy, because what is happening? You may want to get some just in case you need it. Otherwise, its number go up. But first, labeled Operation Choke Point, targeted a wide range of business categories, including ammunition sales, drug paraphernalia, payday loans, dating service, photography, telemarketing, tobacco sales, and government grants. This broad application of financial exclusion ultimately promoted multiple lawsuits or prompted multiple lawsuits and federal investigations into the conduct, both the Department of Justice and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, as well as harsh criticism from all corners. The clandestine Operation Choke Point had more in common with the purge of ideological foes than a regulatory enforcement action. That's the main takeaway. It targeted wide swaths of businesses with little regard for whether legal businesses were swept up and harmed. In fact, that seemed to be their goal. So HSBC, this is on their website. All payments to crypto exchanges will be declined. From July 24, HSBC is introducing a new layer of customer protection. It's always about protecting you from what? Getting caught in their evil fiat system by automatically declining all payments to cryptocurrency exchanges. What are these changes? From July 24, if you try to make a transaction through HSBC to a cryptocurrency exchange, the transaction will automatically be declined. You'll see an error message and the money will stay in your account. Why are they doing this? Scams are the fastest growing threat to customers. Scammers are often using cryptocurrency so that funds transfers are difficult to recover. We've made these changes to protect our customers in response to the increase in scams. We're continually investing in our security capabilities and strengthening our system to help protect our customers from evolving threats. They're talking about scams there. Remember that. We'll come back to it. This is Commonwealth Bank. What are their changes that they do? We're going to run through a couple of banks and what the community has been experiencing. We may limit the amount you can pay to certain accounts or merchants, for example, those we believe to be associated with cryptocurrency exchanges, to no more than 10,000 in total from all of your accounts each calendar month. This has affected many times. I have posted the receipts there on X, brought them up on the channel as well. Bloody frustrating. With Commonwealth Bank, they are my main bank. You can use OSCO payments. You can send it to a different bank account once you hit the limit, and then you can send it as well. Use them for a couple of reasons for the main account, but I've got a couple, and maybe you need to look at doing that as well. If you're a new customer, these effects will be in effect from the 29th of July 2023. Why are they making the changes? Now, this is the important thing. Going back to the amount of scams using. So here in Australia, I believe it's about $3 billion in online scams per year, roughly, give or take. You can fact check me on the number there, but it's about $3 billion. Interest in cryptocurrencies has been increasing. We're seeing a growing number of customers losing funds to cryptocurrency scams. Another type of investment scams, customers think they're investing in particular investment categories other than crypto. However, the scammer arranges for the funds to be paid to a cryptocurrency exchange. ACCC targeting scam report revealed over 220 million was lost to scammers through cryptocurrency in 2022. Such a small possession, such a small point, only 220 million out of the 3 billion, and they want to totally defund, put blockades for an entire industry for the exit ramps. And I agree that cryptocurrency is a scam, but what they're saying is you cannot choose to do what you will with your own money, whether it's Bitcoin or crypto. It's your money. It should be your choice. But then when you deposit into the bank, they just give you an IOU. So it's not really same thing. This is Bank Australia. It's so funny how they say exactly the same thing. What are the changes? We may limit transfers from a customer across all Bank Australia accounts to what we determine to be a cryptocurrency exchange of for cryptocurrency purpose to a maximum of $10,000 per calendar month. Sounds like a lot. It's not. Imagine if you're at retirement age, you've got what, $200,000 in your super. You want to transfer $120,000 straight away into Bitcoin. Well, you can't do that. You're stuck at $10,000 per month with these banks. Obviously, there are other ways to be able to do it, and we'll get into that. But we'll come back to this one. This is, I'll run through it. This I found really quickly, and it's talking about banks that are friendly here in Australia, or they're not. ING, supposedly friendly. The trick here is to have multiple bank accounts. St. George, crypto friendly. Commonwealth Bank, not friendly. $10,000 a month. NAB, not friendly. From the 18th of July, we're introducing new customer protections by declining some transactions made at high-risk cryptocurrency accounts. ANZ, same thing. Westpac, same thing. Bendigo Bank, same thing. There, if you've got any banks that are being good, been using NAB and then another account I won't bring up, and it's been all right. Just OSCO through it, but hearing from the Bitcoin community here in Australia, Bitcoin construction worker. Took us 3 months, 3 refusals by Big Four to open a simple business bank account because we had the word block in our name. How absurd. Paul. ANZ Plus in Australia's is Australia's leading digital banking service, and they deny all transfers to Bitcoin exchange by default. We are seeing this one's way out of order. It's another scam there in Australia we'll come back to. Jack, my bank has stopped. A lot. My ING lets me OSCO into Bitteroo exchange, but my other bank now takes about 24 hours to deposit OSCO into any exchange, no matter how much fiat. They say they personally approve each one. What a joke. They warn me about the dangers of crypto. Central bank robber. Really good point here. Has anyone had any experience with the BISC network? Buy through decentralized exchanges like BISC network. All the bank sees is a regular bank transfer between two bank account holders. No reason to stop the transaction. I'm going to try this out later today or tomorrow if I get a moment. Shane, shout out to you, Shane. Hi, NAB team. I received a surprising letter today. It says you're going to close my bank account 45 days, effectively debanking me. Only reason stated was in line with section 143 of the banking code. Shane looked it up, the stated banking code. All that 143 says is you have the right to close my account, like WTF, nothing more. Can you please tell me about why it's being closed? You've given me no reason as to why you're closing it. It's rather concerning considering I've been a customer and account holder with NAB for over 30 years. It truly does feel like they're just closing the off-ramps. And here in Australia, we are being pre-programmed with certain things. Maybe there is a reason why you want to hold money outside the system. later on this year, next year, the next couple of years, 5, 10 years out, and they're preventing it now. We've got an opportunity still to be able to buy, stack, and chill. I'm making the most of it, have been for 4 and a bit years. Hopefully you are too. This is not just unique to Australia, it is happening everywhere. I like Carl's take, and this is the way that I focus now on Bitcoin. I'm not here to get rich, I'm here to get free. Up, down, or sideways, this is freedom money, freedom technology. Another scam here in Australia. Australian families, they're being warned of a looming power bill shock after wholesale electricity prices skyrocketed by more than 20%. The market operator is blaming a wind drought for causing a greater reliance on gas and coal. We're in Australia. We have pretty extreme temperatures. We're the land of drought. The whole place is a desert mainly, unless you're right on the coast here in Australia. And even a lot of the coast is barren land. It is what it is. And they want to put wind and solar in a place, and they also want to block out the sun. Go figure. Of course, there's going to be problems. Very strange ideological beliefs against nuclear as well. It just feels like they're doing everything they can to work against us. And maybe that's not true. Maybe they totally believe in the mission that they're on, this green, clean, renewable energy. The banks come in, they block everyone from being able to exit the fiat system. But what they're doing is destroying the Australian economy, making it harder and harder for the everyday person. And this is not unique to Australia. This green, clean agenda is going on worldwide. The banking operation choke point 2.0, 3.0 now here in Australia. It's only ramping up. So really, I do hope everyone is paying attention. And this is something really cool for everyone that has been paying attention, which is everyone in the chat. Shout out if you can, smash the like button. But bloody good news, before we even get into the block height, public reachable nodes, 19,190. They are back online. I'm not 100% sure why they are reachable. Again, maybe something sorted out with Tor. Maybe just pulling the API has come back online, but that's epic. And if you're not already, please run a node. Just do it for your own sovereignty, but also for the Bitcoin network. So in case this goes out again, maybe we can get the base case down to 19,000 or up to 19,000 instead of the 7,000 it dropped down to public reachable nodes. But the exchange rate today, 65,500. We'll come back to that. Block height, 853,759. TikTok next block. And we're only 196,241 blocks to go to the next halving. It's going to come so quick. Blink and miss it. Market cap has fell under 1.3 down to 1.29 trillion. Difficulty, the previous adjustment went up. The next adjustment is going to be even harder again as well. Last block, 4 minutes. Oh, and somebody with the BitX. You know those tiny little devices that are about $500, the solo miner? Won a whole block reward, 3.125 Bitcoin. Spent about $500, maybe a couple of dollars in electricity. And they're walking away with 180 Gs, but they were walking really they're walking away with 3.125 Bitcoin. Those BitXs is going to get one for fun. And then people hear that and like, oh, if that happens to them, the chances of it are so bloody small, infinitesimal. But hey, it's still possible. Why not do it for a little bit of fun? But for a bit of education, I want to get one and I'll do a review on them. So that will be coming up. Anyway, if you need help running a node, protecting your Bitcoin, making sure it's in self-custody, if you've got problems with the bank, if you need help in any way securing your stack, your generational wealth, your freedom money, reach out to the Bitcoin Way today. First 30 minutes is free. You know the drill. Safetina Moose, the author of the Bitcoin Standard, also endorse them. So does Natalie Brunel, Simply Bitcoin, Bitcoin News. They've been on Forbes. They're at Bitcoin Prague. They'll be at the Bitcoin conference as well. Their Casper service, absolutely incredible. And their plan B, getting a second citizenship, a second passport if needed. And again, first 30 minutes is free at top of the description. Now, the attacks on Kamala Harris breaking. The Bitcoin conference is unable to lock down Vice President Kamala Harris attacks her position on Bitcoin, claims it would be a disaster for her. I'm playing a little bit. David Bailey, Kamala Harris will not be speaking at the Bitcoin conference. No surprise. What can she say to us when she's actively imprisoning developers, forcing our industry overseas, attacking proof of work, would have been a disaster for her. All eyes on Trump. Now, David Bailey, getting everyone's name mixed up this morning like nice fresh cake. Anyway, I'm sorry, but you don't get to just screw our industry over for 4 years, push Operation Choke Point and list Gensler and Warren as your champions, and then just pretend you're hip with Bitcoin. Major Democratic donor told me Kamala says privately, Bitcoin is money for criminals. It's so funny. I thought we had gotten past that. Fiat is the choice. Cash is the choice for criminals. Or we see people that attack Bitcoin taking gold as bribes and cash, and they've got a problem with Bitcoin. It allows you to be sovereign, of course. Eric Hayson chiming in here with Harris rejecting speaking at the Bitcoin conference. Pretty much everyone in attendance now going to be labeled a far-right extremist who wants to destroy America. Congratulations, you're now part of the enemy class that is dangerous and will need to be re-educated. Check out Eric Hayson's book. It's like that the whole time. It's intense, it's insane, it's a good read. And shout out to everyone that has tuned in. I like this Retro Beaver. Banning nuclear energy so the corrupt politicians can funnel your tax dollars into unreliable so-called renewable energy. Wind and solar do not provide base power load. 100% they don't. Phil C, Democrats hate Bitcoin. We'll come back to the comments there. Tyler Winklevoss, don't really like the man, but anyway. The Biden-Harris administration all-out war on the crypto industry for 4 years. Despite all this, Kamala is still invited to the Bitcoin conference in Nashville and given a chance to speak to our industry and reset the relationship. What does she do? She declined. She can't even take the first step and show up to start mending fences. Our industry won't forget this. We will show no mercy in November. I think that's pretty good. Now, this is real interesting. This is really interesting. CJ chimed in here. A couple of interesting things. Scoop by Eleanor Terrett and me. Senator Lummis, and this is according to Charles, is hoping to announce, so not 100% confirmed, new legislation, the Bitcoin conference that would establish a pathway for the Fed to hold Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset, and is hoping to get buy-in from real Donald Trump, who's also speaking at the event. Full write-up coming momentarily. So CJ, chiming in on this. Who are the Bitcoin advisors to Cynthia Lummis? There, I'd like to offer my free assistance to help out the who, what, why of this important Bitcoin legislation. The Federal Reserve central banks holds US treasuries on their balance sheet as assets, not liabilities. UST is the liability of the treasury. Therefore, the bill should require that the US Treasury hodl the Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. That way, as the fiat price of Bitcoin goes up, the burden of the Treasury's debt goes down. This bill could help USA. By the way, Bitcoin bonds will also recapitalize Social Security. Senator Lummis, keep up the great work. Please feel free to have your people reach out to solidify a plan. This is a once-in-a-civilization type of opportunity. Honored to help. See what comes out of the announcement, and if CJ can get in contact with them and see. Well done. Pleb Miner found the first block with a BetX Aztec miner. Huge deal. That's pretty cool, hey? Price 65,955, hasn't done much in the last 24 hours, up 0.3%. A little bit of sideways action, highs and lows of the last 24 hours if we can get this up here. Pretty much sideways, $1,500 day. 65.5 was the low, 67 was the high, and 63 in the last 7 days, and 68 with being the high. It's not doing much at the moment. I expect probably a bit of volatility. You got a lot of options, I believe, on Friday expiring. Whatever happens on Friday, the Bitcoin conference, Saturday with the Bitcoin conference kicks off on Friday. It's going to be interesting. Surely it is. But even at 65,615, it's a grand glorious deal. Bitcoin is only going to go up over time. And then you have things like the banks, when they're saying it's a scam and you understand that it's totally not, you're like, what are they preventing the general public from doing? Do they think something's coming? Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. But it's good to be able to have a call on freedom. Stablecoins on Bitcoin, good or bad, right or wrong, doesn't really matter. They are here now on Bitcoin's Lightning Network. Shout out to Tyler there for bringing this up. Just dive on it briefly. At least it's on the Lightning Network, not on the base chain, but maybe there's some benefits to it. And as this unfolds, maybe I'll change my mind a little bit. I don't think we need anything else apart from Bitcoin. This is the separation of money and state, not the contribution or the combining of money and state. Maybe it helps real world adoption. The world of financial assets and alternative currencies has officially arrived to Bitcoin. More than 2 years after the protocol was originally announced, users and developers can now open channels to denominated in a unit account of their choice and leverage the existing Lightning Network infrastructure. It looks like DeFi is coming to the Bitcoin Lightning Network. A unit of account of their choice. People are just going to launch whatever they want. Maybe I'm a little bit off. Hopefully it doesn't work like that, but that's how it sounds. Though Taproot Assets was leapfrogged in its efforts to bring assets to Bitcoin by more naive protocols such as BRC20 or Runes, patience has been rewarded as advocates. The protocol contended as superior in all aspects from scalability to security, with billions, if not trillions, billions, if not trillions of stablecoin opportunities abound. Taproot Assets is positioned as a strong contender to bridge the current gap between the dollar economy and Bitcoin. While stablecoins do tend to have a network effect, including the dominance of USDT, design of Taproot Assets also makes it easier to do cross-asset transfers. For example, sending a USD stablecoin and receiving in Bitcoin, or sending between two different stablecoins. I would like that. If people want to pay in USD stablecoin and I can get Bitcoin, cool. It saves them having to do that exchange. Maybe that's beneficial. What are your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? Really, I'm open to know. Receiving in Bitcoin or send between two different stablecoins, according to the CEO Elizabeth, and there was two more things here. We envision two major narratives. The rise of L2s and stablecoins becoming a globally significant asset. Both have come to fruition. If Bitcoin bonds take off, if either the Treasury or the Fed add Bitcoin to the balance sheet, maybe this has a part to play. As we've seen an explosion of creativity in the developer community. It's about playing with toys. The need for a global, scalable, interoperable protocol for transferring Bitcoin and assets on Bitcoin has only increased in importance. Lightning Labs head of business development, Ryan Gentry, previously highlighted the opportunity created by the novel layer technologies, claiming that DeFi will require the stablecoins issued on Taproot Assets in order to thrive. Yeah, that's the sum of it for me. So the timing for these new projects couldn't be better. Lightning will be the interoperable glue that will connect them all. We'll see how that plays out. Good news, the US Senate considering banning Congress from trading stocks before the November election. It's never going to happen, but it sounds good on paper. And what are your thoughts? Should Congress be banned from trading stocks? To me, it looks like insider trading. They just pick it so well. Kraken, they have successfully distributed the Mt. Gox Bitcoin back to creditors. The sell pressure, it's nothing. It's not happening. So many people with Mt. Gox are just holding. They understand there are a lot of people with Bitcoin Cash selling it, switching it into Bitcoin. So it is what it is. Don't think it's going to have a major outflow. Probably more the bots on Wall Street playing around with the news events over anyone actually selling at the minute, but we'll see. I think Friday, Saturday could be big up, down, sideways. I think there is a bit of volatility coming. Maybe it doesn't happen either way. I'm just following my plan. But Mario here, this more just in regards to the stock trading ban, and then we're going to dive into Russia, making Bitcoin mining legal. But Senate Democrats aim to vote on a bipartisan bill banning stock trading for lawmakers before the November election. The bill, popular among voters, faces procedural challenges, but seeks to prohibit members of Congress and their family from trading stock. I think that's probably fair. Senator Jeff and Senator John are leading the push, hoping to attach the measure to must-pass legislation. The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and the Governmental Affairs will mark up the legislation on Wednesday. Inflows into the new spot Bitcoin ETF are baffling. This going back to the start of the year, but the iShares Bitcoin Trust has accumulated USD 19 billion in inflows. This is more than Invesco's NASDAQ 100 ETF, including the Hype Magnificent 7 and the Artificial Intelligence boom. In addition, Fidelity's spot Bitcoin ranks 11th, garnering USD 10 billion in inflows from a flow perspective, Bitcoin is the world's second biggest asset class this year. Pretty amazing since Bitcoin's size is 90 times smaller than that of equities. And the world still hasn't woken up to Bitcoin. It's an incredible time to be here within history. And seeing that, number 2, hey, 90 times smaller, let's go. Celsius is back to destroy users they couldn't destroy first over. This person received a letter in the mail today being summoned in New York bankruptcy court by Celsius. They're trying to claw back hundreds of thousands of dollars that I withdrew before the collapse. Their goal is to take the money I initially deposited. Go onto an exchange, get out of the exchange as quick as possible, hold in self-custody, and if you need any help, if you need to go boating, reach out to the Bitcoin way. Today, Ferrari, it's not Lambo, but they are ready to accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in Europe from the end of July. If you can imagine it, can be done. Enzo Ferrari, they're happy to do it. If you want to buy a Ferrari with Bitcoin, it's your money, your choice. Maybe better than a Lambo, or maybe not. Touched on this yesterday. Mario's put out a little bit more information in regards to it. Hackers leak internal documents, and then we'll dive into Russia from IT service providers at the Pentagon. Documents stolen from Lidios Holdings, major IT service provider for the US government due to a breach of Diligent Corp systems. Currently investigating. Key customers like the Defense Department and NASA have not commented. The breach linked to the 22 hacker, the Diligent Steel compliance solution, impacted fewer than 15 customers. Lidios, the largest federal IT contractor in 22, was initially notified of the breach in November. So a little bit more programming there. This is sad. Peter McCormack and Danny Knowles are hanging up the What Bitcoin Did hat. Absolutely amazing podcast in the space, the 30th of August, 2024. Don't know what Peter will be doing. Maybe he's running for mayor. That would be my guess. Joseph Obel, pay attention to Bitcoin. The rise of digital gold and its place in the evolution of money is out now. Wright has bought more. I do want to get to... I don't know what happened to it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Before I do that, in New Zealand, I think this will come to Australia, other places in the world. The New Zealand government wants to legalise the bad stuff they did during the C-19 for the next pandemic, including mandates, lockdowns and restrictions of basic human rights. Other nations with fewer pandemic restrictions did well and had less excess deaths from vaccinations. Just a good reason to be able to opt out of their fiat system. Requirement for people to undergo preventative treatment. No thank you as a biological weapon. Requirements for people not to go to work or other public places or to do so only under certain conditions. That's fine. I'm a recluse anyway. It wouldn't affect me, but freedom of movement is a freedom they are trying to take away. Commandeering of resources, land, buildings, or vehicles. They just take what they want. And obviously out of the EU yesterday, they want a register of all your assets. And then maybe they bring in things like this as well, just to be aware of it. Peter Schiff jumping in there. The poll is for Bitcoin holders. If Bitcoin falls below 15K, 80% collapse from its 2024 record high, putting it beneath 21 bear market low, nearly 25 below its 17 high. Will you finally throw in the towel and sell your Bitcoin? Hell no, it's ride or die. 88%, there's 11% there that had cut their losses. Just a failure of education on that one. Let me see if I can find this Russian news here where they have brought up Bitcoin mining, where they're making it, Russia, Bitcoin mining, legal. We did touch on it briefly. There was more of it here. So Daniel Batten, and then we'll dive into the article. Russia's Duma's legal framework for Bitcoin mining. The bill introduced by a group of deputies led by Anatoly, chairman of the Duma Committee on Financial Markets, establishes clear guidelines for Bitcoin mining. According to the report from RIA, it aims to reduce illegal mining activities and related offenses by implementing strict controls. Obviously, they'll really want to monitor it. Maybe they take a little bit and Russia starts accumulating Bitcoin through this. Be interesting to see how it plays out. That is the news with the fast facts. I'm going to do a quick banter and then we'll get out of here. And it's a glorious day outside. But shout out to Habib, Jake Thomas in the house, Average Geo, Think Orange, good morning, Kirk Burns in the house, and BTC. Everyone is up and at it. Michael, Johnny Midas, Mike, McLovin, BTC Cowboy. What a name. Let's go. Jake Thomas. Sean, it was a Carl B. Manager tweet yesterday that said, don't know if that is in the USA or worldwide total, but haven't been able to confirm. Neither have I and Jake Thomas. I think it's more like 500 something thousand. I'll reach out to Julian Farrar I'll reach out to Julian Farrar, who's been really following the ETF flows, and we've got a podcast coming out next week. Just in regards to next week, I will be traveling down to the snow, a little bit of R&R. I've got podcasts every single day. They will come out at the same time, super high signal. If there's breaking news, if something dramatic happens, I will jump on, I'll do a live or I'll record a video and I'll get that out to everyone as well. Those videos, incredible conversation. So make sure you hit the notification bell for that. And then I'll be back the following week. But I will keep people updated both on X and the community posts on the YouTube channel. But you will get a video every day. Super strong signal. Major breaking news, I will get out. The phone, maybe there's some pretty places. It looks like it's going to be freezing down there. But I'm looking forward to it. Stacking and chilling, brother. The man Kirk. So many legends in the chat. Everyone in the chat. Bitcoin Beaver. Bitcoin was built to be attacked. It is, and they cannot stop it. The more I know, the more I don't know. 100%. Think Orange, not sure what that's in regards to. Shane 73, morning all. This is the guy that's had problems with NAB bank account. Shout out Shane for sharing that story this morning. It's crazy. It's a free country, and you choose to do whatever you want with your fiat dollars, your currency. Nah. Can't do it. I just want to move into the world's hardest, safest, digitally scarce. Nah, can't do it. I just want to be able to buy meat. Nah, can't do it. These things are coming slowly. Well, maybe they don't. Good to be able to have that option, that plan B, just in case. But the banks are pathetic. Mr. Android, 100% agreed. Criminals are better off to stay away from Bitcoin. Pam, good to see you. And in the chat, thank you for an epic edit. It's great. That'll be coming out next week as well. E-Boot, so far I've been fine with Newcastle Permanent. Good to hear. So Newcastle Permanent Bank in Australia, check them out if you need any help. Banks definitely don't care about us. AML and anti-fraud is such gaslight and BS. 100% it is. Bitcoiners will move to more Bitcoin-friendly nations. Banks are desperate. 100%. It's going to be a big brain drain, and that's why it is good to be able to have a plan B, a second passport. It's really not that expensive, very easy. If you need help, obviously, Tony and the team. Below, energy scarcity is intentional, 100%. It is. And it's sad and it's sick, and we're the most energy abundant nation in the world. And we have some of the highest energy costs in the world. It's all a scam. It's all a farce. It's not doing good for the environment, taking up pristine farmland, these wind turbines in places where there is no wind. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just get the government out of the way. Leave it to the free market and let the free market pay for whatever it thinks is best, would be better. Nodes back in business, baby. Shane, after NAB debanked me, I went to Nui Perm and they said they will block any transactions to exchanges. Scarcity for most resources intentional. It's how you wield power and control over the masses. Banning nuclear energy so the corrupt politicians can funnel your tax dollars into unreliable so-called renewable energy. Wind and solar do not provide base power loads. Agree. John Midas, I probably agree with you, but I'm not going to read that one publicly out of respect. Trying to stay a little bit more in the middle, but 100% agree. Lightning Goats in the house. G'day, get under the guns with Bitcoin. Ubank has always made deposits withdrawals quick with no issues. I left HSBC some time ago. Good to hear. Ubank. In regards to the banks as well, with HSBC, I did see it. I couldn't re-find it again, but they said, we will still accept the cash from the crypto exchange into the bank. There'll be no problem with that. They're happy to take your fiat dollars and hold them there, pay you 0% interest, charge you a bank fee for it, but they won't allow you to go the other way. It's absolutely ridiculous. Definitely have different bank accounts, and I'm going to check out that BISC network today as well. Maybe look at Backup Mate. I went with them for personal and business, and then ING for corn purchase. Kennedy Bank wasn't fun. I'm just going to also strike up an amber. Bitcoin was doing just fine before Pink and politicians came round. It is what it is now, 100%. I'll just race through and pick out a couple. HSBC is literally the worst scamming money laundering bank in the world. CN Congress should not be able to trade. That's silly. On standby to buy the dip. Let's go. You have a limit of OSCO for $1,000 with ING, which can be a pain in the ass, but no limits on normal transfers. Bitcoin to store, fiat, 100%. Now, I've changed the way that I think about Bitcoin. I've been doing it for quite a while now, is have a deep cold storage, a cold storage, and then a savings account. That's what I've been doing. But my mindset shift yesterday is Bitcoin is just saving. Even though I was putting into my saving account, I'm like, maybe more thought about of investing in a certain way, but it's literally just saving your purchasing power so you don't get poor in the future. And that's the way I'm going to think about it now. Money comes in, or cash comes in, fiat currency comes in, and then I just save it. It's what I've been doing anyway, but just that thought from investing to saving, it really just clicked for me yesterday because Bitcoin is the savior. Lord Satoshi, whoever it is, be tithing that 10%, whatever it is for you. For me, it's a lot more out there. It's so important right now because fiat is going down forever, and I don't know how long. It's going to be easy here in Australia, but anywhere in the world, to be able to opt out of their Ponzi system. What the hell banned Bitcoin in Australia? HSBC, just to be clear, John, which is a major bank here in Australia, have banned any exiting from the bank into Bitcoin or crypto exchanges there. And then we've got Commonwealth Bank, NAB, quite a lot go through the start of the show. Are all making it very, very, very hard to be able to do. Very good way of looking at it, Sean. I saved 20K from inheritance and turned 50K. Let's go, AV. That's the way to be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, it's a pleasure. Do something nice for yourself with somebody else. If you want to support the channel and you want to send the signal, the Bitcoin Lab.io, it's buy, stack, and chill. Use G'day. Use code G'day. Get a discount, but go out there and just spread the orange message. It's so important right now. It's still insanely cheap. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.